The Bengals technically have a chance of making the playoffs. Now, I did a whole video breaking this down. I'm going to just kind of share the surface level of this. They just need to win the AFC North. I'm making it as simple as possible because it's really not that simple. They would need to win out. They would need the Ravens to completely tumble, which is on the table. They would need the Steelers to completely tumble, which they did yesterday. They got completely dogged by the Bills. It's really funny being reminded the difference in how good the Bengals are when they have Joe Burrow. Even a Joe Burrow who's taking his shoe off every time he comes on and off the field and is clearly not as mobile as he previously was, which was one of his best assets, is his pocket mobility. He's still elevating this team and keeping it relevant. I think that the same shit's going to happen as last year, where they were so bad, they were out of the mix, and then he does Joe Burrow things, and they go on a ridiculous run, and then they miss the playoffs again. And we get to – Joe Burrow officially becomes the new if man. He officially takes the if man crown. Even though if man's got a lot of ifs going on for him this year, I think that Joe Burrow would officially establish himself as if man.
Could we make him would man or could man or should man maybe? Joe Burrow should be a quarterback that's in the playoffs every year. Joe Burrow should be a quarterback that is in the AFC Championship in and out. I like should man or super should. What do we want? I got to figure this out. I'll workshop it. Cincinnati, though, beating the Ravens the way that they did, embarrassing for Baltimore. Oh, they cracked open Baltimore. Baltimore also 2 games back in the AFC North. What a tragic conference. What a tragedy. I thought the NFC South was bad. Your leading teams are tied at 6-6. Go screw. Cincinnati, I don't want to call them climbers. I don't want to believe or invest or think that they're going to do dick all because eventually Baltimore is going to stumble over their own feet and find the end zone. They just have that power. Pittsburgh's falling apart, which is great, like always at this time of year. But Baltimore, even though they went out and embarrassed themselves, and Lamar played awful. Lamar Jackson played as bad as Lamar Jackson's ever played against Cincinnati, and they're a wretched defense. They're going to, I think, maintain their pace at the top, to quote-unquote top of the AFC North before an eventual sad exit from the playoffs. But thank God the Cincinnati showed up and gave us some entertainment. Like, I like seeing this offense in the team when Joe Burrow is rolling. He's good. He's a really good quarterback. Healthy season, Joe Burrow, 17 games. I bet he's a top 3 guy at the end of the year. And I think that's eye test. I think it's numerically. I think it's wins. But we can't keep on having half seasons and then trying to grade the Bengals as if. This is kind of my whole point, is that we get to play the game of, but man, they got so close. Is their coach good? I don't know if I
don't know what you do with Zach. This is also the recurring issue. I think Zach Taylor's a solid coach, and I think he knows how to capitalize on Joe Burrow's skill set. But the problem is he's proven that he is incapable of succeeding without his most important asset.
Tread water.
That to me is the sign of a coach being average. He's not a bad coach, but the great coaches are the ones who excel when they lose their most important player or one of their most important players. Bill Belichick produced a solid season when he had Matt Castle. We've seen coaches across the sport be able to win without their quarterbacks, find ways to win without star receivers, star running backs, star defensive players. So that to me, I think, is a little bit of the indictment on him. I would like to add here a little bit of hilariousness of the sudden surge in performance. They had no good defense, absolute ass defense. And suddenly they were generating pressures on one of the most elusive quarterbacks in the NFL. 39% pressure rate on Lamar Jackson. That is the second highest pressure rate in a game this season for them. Joseph Osai, of all players, who has been kind of non-existent, had 6 pressures and 2 sacks. That was one of the weirdest layers to this, is that Joe Burrow apparently had something to do with the pass rush.
Yeah, look, the Bengals went 1-8 in Joe Burrow's absence. That's terrible. If the coach is good, the team is good, there's any bones about it, you need to float around 500. I'm not saying you have to be a perfect 5-5 in his absence. Okay, that's tough to do, but you can't you can't have 8 losses to 1 win while your quarterback is down. Yeah, I'd probably team move on and then hope to get fresh. But at the same time, do we want Joe Burrow learning a new offensive language? Do we want Jamar Chase doing that? It's going to be a complete reset. But what if it happens again? Are we ready to punt on another season for Cincinnati if Burrow goes down again? Nasty work, nasty narrative starting in Cincinnati. But you have to do better in the interim. They took some nasty losses. They let Minnesota put up 48 on them, Joe.
That one was something.